Hip-hop's got its share of epic showdowns, right? Rivalries that stamped their mark on an era and kept millions of us hooked. But man, few verbal battles were as cutting, as out in the open, and, in the end, as surprisingly squashed as the beef between two giants of the 2000s, Lil Wayne and myself, 50 Cent. This wasn't just some quick argument, it was a years-long saga packed with diss tracks, public callouts, and a whole lot of ego. Picture this, it's 2007. 50 Cent, already a hip-hop heavyweight, goes on the radio. And what does he call me? The guy calling himself the best rapper alive? A whore. Yeah, you heard that right. Not for my lifestyle, but for my music. For jumping on too many tracks with other artists. That one fiery comment basically lit the fuse on a feud that would smolder for years, giving us some of the most unforgettable disses of the decade. So what was really going on behind the scenes, beyond the headlines and hit records? To really get why things blew up, you gotta understand the vibe back then. By the mid-2000s, yours truly, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, was a massive force, not just in music, but in business too. My first album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', totally changed the game for street rap success, and G-Unit was everywhere. I was known for being aggressive in my business deals and never backing down from a lyrical fight. At the same time, Dwayne Lil Wayne Carter Jr. was shooting up like a rocket. From his early days with the Hot Boys, he turned into this lyrical beast, constantly dropping mixtapes and those killer guest verses everyone was talking about. A lot of people were already calling him the best rapper alive, and his grind was insane. The scene was perfectly set for these two titans, both at the top of their game in a super competitive hip-hop world, to eventually collide. The first public shot? That came in 2007. 50 Cent was doing an interview with Funkmaster Flex, and Flex asked him about me always collaborating, hopping on tons of artists' singles and remixes. 50, who's never been one to bite his tongue, didn't pull any punches. He said that while I made the records good, the fact I was everywhere was an issue. And then came the line that shot through the whole industry. A whore sleeps with whoever will pay him, so we gotta call him a whore if he'll just go with whoever pay him to be on their records. He did add that I make those records good, but then argued, it's just that he works with anybody. You gotta kinda make it an event. The message was crystal clear. 50 thought I was watering down my own brand, a total opposite to his own strategy of making his releases feel like big events. The disrespect was real, and the entire hip-hop world held its breath, waiting to see how I would hit back. But I wasn't about to leave it at just interview comments. Nah, I took that heat straight to the booth. Later in 2007, on my track Part-Time Lover, I went directly at Lil Wayne and Birdman, Wayne's mentor and the co-founder of Cash Money Records. The lyrics were sharp and personal, making fun of their super close relationship, even referencing that infamous onstage kiss. I rapped, "You make me want to kiss you like Baby Kiss Wayne, and make you call me daddy like Baby Do Wayne. Damn, that shit sounds gay, it's insane. I guess that's the price the lil nigga pays for fame." This wasn't just a critique of how Wayne moved musically anymore. This was a direct personal insult, dragging their image through the mud and using public whispers to get maximum effect. I was drawing a clear line, and just like that, the feud was officially on wax. Now, what's interesting is how I first reacted publicly to 50's jabs. It was surprisingly calm, almost like I brushed it off. When someone asked me about 50's comments in an interview, I actually spun them into a compliment. I said, "That shit's crazy, man. I ain't fucking with 50. He too high up there?" I respect that my name even came out the homie's mouth. I just took it as a compliment. I'd never go back at 50. That nigga's a trillionaire. I'm trying to get there, homie. I'm smart. I ain't dumb. But that underlying tension, it didn't just vanish. The next year, in 2008, MTV crowned me the #1 rapper on their hottest MCs in the game list. And guess who publicly had an issue with that? 50 Cent. He straight up challenged MTV, asking how I could be #1 when they couldn't even name the first single off one of my albums. This just added more fuel to the fire, making it look like 50 was pretty ticked off about me snagging that top spot. Despite playing it cool in public at first, I did eventually clap back. In 2008, a track called Louisianimal leaked, and on it, Wheezy aimed straight for 50 Cent. The lyrics were nasty and super clever, targeting 50's businesses and his whole persona. I rapped, "All about $1, fuck 2 quarters. Bitch, I'll pour syrup in that vitamin water. I hope you die ugly and tonight will be gorgeous." That fuck 2 quarters was a clear jab at 50's name, and the vitamin water line, a direct hit at 50's massive deal with the drink company. The "Hope You Die Ugly" line was especially brutal and definitely stuck with people. Later, when MTV asked me about Louisianimal and if it was a diss at 50, I famously just dodged the question, changing the subject completely to mess with my rival even more. Classic Wayne, indirect, but everyone knew who I was talking about. The battle lines were definitely drawn now, with diss tracks flying from both camps. Me, being the type to never shy away from a lyrical fight, kept poking the bear. In 2009, I dropped tracks like "Play This on the Radio" and "Officer Ricky, Go Head, Try Me." Now, these were mainly aimed at Rick Ross, but a lot of people felt some lines were also sneak disses at Wayne and his crew. I was clever with my attacks too, even making fun of Lil Wayne's dive into rock music with his album Rebirth. I did this video skit where I'm playing a guitar, saying I'm working on a rock album, then just laugh and admit I'm not. A clear shot at Wayne's controversial musical experiment. This back and forth kept going into 2010. In the music video for his own 2005 track "Money on My Mind", Lil Wayne threw a subtle but obvious dig at me. Near the end of the video, you see Wayne pick up my autobiography, "From Pieces to Weight", look at it, and then just laugh right at the camera. No words needed, but the message was loud and clear. Not one to be left hanging, I fired back again in 2011 with the track "Love, Hate, Love". On this one, I went in on Lil Wayne's new love for skateboarding and his fashion sense, especially those tighter jeans he was rocking. I rapped about Wayne, acting like a white boy bored. Now you wanna jump a flight of stairs on a skateboard? Nigga, why the fuck you pants so tight? You trying to show niggas your ass, your alternative life? So yeah, the Feud, even if mostly lyrical, was still a steady source of drama and, let's be honest, entertainment in the hip-hop world. After a few solid years of trading diss tracks and public jabs, things started to chill out around 2012. There wasn't any big public handshake or official peace treaty, but the shots definitely weren't flying as often. A pretty big moment, or at least a public sign that things were softening, happened in 2012 when I had a series of seizures. 50 Cent actually went on Twitter to publicly wish me well. A lot of people saw that as a sign that maybe the bad blood was starting to fade. After that, by 2013, you started seeing the two of us at the same public events, especially at Floyd Mayweather Jr. boxing matches. Seeing us in the same space suggested that whatever serious personal issues we had were mostly gone. The hip-hop world started whispering that the beef, which had given us so much lyrical ammo, was finally winding down. It looked like both guys were maturing and maybe just realized the feud had run its natural course. So, how did we two hip-hop giants finally officially bury the hatchet? We're about to get into that. But first, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way, you won't miss out when we explore other legendary hip-hop stories like this one. So, years after the verbal sparring stopped and those joint appearances hinted that things had thawed, the official "no doubt about it" reconciliation happened in a pretty unexpected but very public way. In July 2020, I had 50 Cent on as a guest on my Apple Music show, Young Money Radio. This was huge. These two legendary rappers, who were once lyrical enemies, were now just chopping it up, friendly and relaxed. We talked about our early days, shared some laughs, and covered all sorts of stuff, like the state of hip-hop and what was going on in the world. There wasn't even a hint of the old tension. Instead, it was all mutual respect. That hour-long chat basically put the final nail in the coffin of our feud. It showed everyone that whatever problems we had were long gone. It was a really mature way to end a rivalry that had once seemed pretty intense. And honestly, it was a cool moment for a lot of hip-hop fans. Now, even with us making peace on Young Money Radio, you know how the rumor mill loves to churn. In August 2023, some reports popped up saying Lil Wayne had stormed out of my concert in Los Angeles. Naturally, this got some people thinking, uh-oh, is the beef back on? But hold up, those reports got cleared up pretty fast. Sources said that Lil Wayne, who was actually supposed to be a surprise guest performer, supposedly left because he got pushed or bumped by someone on the backstage tour staff. Maybe someone who just didn't recognize him. The whole thing was apparently a misunderstanding or just a moment of frustration that had nothing to do with any leftover bad feelings with me. Both of us have clearly moved on, and this little concert issue definitely didn't mean we were back to feuding. The Lil Wayne versus 50 Cent beef, it's definitely remembered as one of those classic 2000s hip-hop rivalries. It was more about clever, sharp wordplay and smart media jabs than any really deep, violent hate. Both guys were masters of promoting themselves, and you could argue we used the feud to get even more buzz and show off our lyrical skills when competition in the game was fierce. Tracks like Louisianimal and Part-Time Lover are still standout diss records from that time. And while the rivalry got pretty heated, it never really spilled over into physical fights or seemed to cause any lasting, serious damage to our careers or personal lives. Instead, it just kind of fizzled out as both of us grew up, our careers went in different directions, and we started focusing more on our businesses and legacies. Today, we seem to be cool with each other, showing mutual respect. It's a solid chapter in hip-hop history where lyrical warfare eventually just gave way to peace. So from me dropping that horror comment back in 2007, all the way to our friendly chat on Young Money Radio in 2020, the story of Lil Wayne and 50 Cent's rivalry was one wild ride in hip-hop. It was a clash driven by competition, lyrical talent, and that always-on media spotlight. The diss tracks were sharp, the public callouts were bold, but in the end, the feud wrapped up with a handshake, both literally and figuratively. It just goes to show that even the hottest beefs in hip-hop can cool down over time and turn into respect between two legends of the game. What's your take on the Lil Wayne versus 50 Cent feud? Who do you think had the better diss tracks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching.